This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All right. First of all, Alarmo's got to get ready there. Anyway, want to know, give me the heads up on the chat board if you're hearing, because Sean is off. I'm just doing this on my own because there's been a lot of questions and stuff. So I figured I would do a little show and talk about a Dolphin issue that people, and it's the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. So for those of you Dolphin fans out there that are dying to get compensation for Weaver, well, Pittsburgh, they gave the job right now to Mike McCarthy. Ravens already did Minter. And so
for those of you that are wondering, there's a race going on, okay? Hafley may know who his defensive coordinator is, but he's not hiring him yet, or he hasn't yet. But if they hire a defensive coordinator, then immediately Weaver's fired. So Miami will not get compensation if he gets a head coaching job, okay? He's up for Arizona's second interview tomorrow. So if Arizona hires him before Miami hires a defensive coordinator, even if Hafley's calling the plays, it does not matter, okay? Because you will have it's kind of like Clint Kubiak is up for coordinator's jobs or head coach, but he doesn't really call the plays. It's Shanahan calling the plays. So, but he's kind of the next guy in line. It's kind of the thing. But if you get a defensive coordinator, if Hafley hires a defensive coordinator, then immediately that means they have fired Weaver, and then they will not get any compensation. So it's kind of like a race right now. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a chicken race. Although the Dolphins could be playing a little coy, Haf may know who he's going to name his defensive coordinator. His defensive coordinator knows he's going to get the job, but they're kind of playing this game and waiting to see if Weaver is hired or not hired. Okay, so I know that because there's a lot of questions about that. And I was wondering myself, so I asked a couple of people around the league how this whole thing works out. If, because Haf said he was going to hire his assistants, his coordinators and everything by, throughout the weekend here. He's going to clear out the guys that he doesn't want, and he's going to hire the guys he wants. And as you all know, they hired Chris Tabor, former Bills special teams coach, to be their special teams coach. So they've got that. They've got to name the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, because the defensive coordinator here will help prepare the defense throughout the week. And then on game day, Haf is going to end up calling all the plays. So that's kind of the way it goes. So Kyle Smith also was added as assistant GM overall. So really, we're playing kind of a game of chicken right now. And we're hoping that Arizona hires Weaver as a head coach right away. Look, man, to me, I think Weaver has all the qualities to be a head coach. The only thing that we don't know if Weaver could succeed is, can he build a staff? Because that's the hardest thing for a head coach, is to build a staff and rebuild a staff and rebuild a staff, because you're going to lose assistant coaches. Look at Detroit. Detroit lost their assistant coaches, and look where they're at now. They're not the same team anymore. And the assistant coach that went to Chicago is better than they are now. That's kind of crazy. And then that's now Man Campbell's job, is to fix his assistant coaches so he could get his team back on track. And if he can't do that, that's going to be a knock on him. And then all of a sudden, that start kind of fizzles off. And that's a real challenge for all coaches, that they're going to have to turn over their rosters. Not only their rosters, they're going to have to turn over their coaching staffs, because if you hire the right people, they're going to move on to better, they're going to move on to better responsibilities in other places, because they can't grow anymore in your place. Once they get to a coordinator spot or whatever, or if you have your coordinators locked, well, then the passing game coordinator, the run game coordinator, all those kind of things, it's just one of those where you have to be able to turn over a roster, and that's part of the job. Hell, Flo couldn't even build an offensive side of the roster. He could not build an offensive staff at all. And he's gone through this whole thing without a job. Well, I mean, Flo is just a bad human being, and I think people enough around the league kind of know it. And he doesn't interview well, so it's just one of those things where it is what it is. But the job of a coach is to build and rebuild staffs, and that would be the challenge for Weaver. That's going to be the challenge for Haf. Right now, the coach we have right now, we don't know if he can build a great staff. We don't even know if he's a great coach. We're going to find out. But this is all part of the challenge. So the Weaver thing is kind of a game of chicken. Right now, we're still in play for 2 third-rounders if Arizona hires him. You lost out on Baltimore. You lost out on Pittsburgh. Now you got to wait for Arizona if it happens or it doesn't happen, whatever. The Rooney rule it's insulting. It's insulting for the black coach because you're now bringing guys in just for token interviews. That's insulting. And by the way, I think if I last checked, we voted in a black president. I think we're kind of past that. Sure, we still have racism in this country, of course. But I think in sports or in whatever, you just want to win, dude. And if the guy's black or Asian or Latino or white or green or yellow, or I don't give a shit where he's from. Who cares where he's from, dude? Can you play? Can you coach? Can you develop teams? You know what I'm saying? So to me, the Rooney Rule is kind of a joke in a way. I kind of understand that people get an opportunity to get in front, but you're not sitting in front of people that are really going to give you a chance. You're kind of going through the motions, and people are just kind of looking at you like the Peanuts teacher. Wah, 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 because they're not going to hire you anyway, and it's kind of, I think you're going to hire any coach, no matter what, if he's Polynesian or whatever, who gives a shit if he can actually coach. That's all. You know what I mean? Mel Phillips was an excellent coach, and he survived coach after coach after coach because he was a great D-backs coach. And that's just kind of the way it goes. It has nothing to do with your color or whatever. I think in sports, especially in sports, we are past that. Maybe not in society, but in sports, there's too much greed to win. You're going to want the best player, bro. In baseball, the best player is what? An Asian. Actually, I'm sorry. The greatest player in the history of the game now is an Asian. Because he's the greatest player I've ever seen. There's been some great ones, but there ain't anything like that. No, sir. Never seen anything dominate on both sides of the plate like that. Forget about it. That's ridiculous. So what are you going to do? You're going to sign the best player no matter where they come from. You're going to sign the best coach. So to me, like, what's it called? The Dolphins just brought in Gerard Johnson. The Finns brought in Gerard Johnson for offensive coordinator. Come on, dude. We know it's going to be Shimko, maybe Sean Marion, maybe what's it called? Stenovich from Green Bay. Who are we kidding here? Who are we kidding here? You're going to go with the devil you know. That's what you just did. I don't blame, some people say, oh, well, Sullivan just went with the guy. Yeah, he went with the guy he knows. You're about to do something you've never done before. You have to be sure that you do it with people that are on the same page. By the way, one of the many things that burned Chris Greer and McKenzie and Allen was flow on the same page. No. How important was that? Like, everybody there in the organization had an understanding, we're going to tank this year. The front office built it to tank, and then the one guy that went against it ruined it. You would have had Joe Burrow here if it wasn't for Flo's ignorant ass. So look how important it is to be on the same page. So I don't blame Sully for hiring his guy. Not at all. So this is where we're at now with the whole situation with Weaver. We just wait now. Which shoe falls first? If the Dolphins hire a defensive coordinator, it's over. You will not get any compensation for Weaver for whatever jobs are open. If they want to hire him, you're done. It's not like the teams are giving up that compensation, by the way. It comes from the league. It's like a compensatory pick or whatever. So it's not something that teams lose or anything. So they don't give a shit when they hire the guy. They're going to hire a guy whichever they like. You know what I'm saying? So let's just look at it the way it's supposed to be. But that's kind of where we're at right now. The other news is Mike McCarthy. He gets hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Steelers are usually a very supportive situation of their coaches. And so we'll see. Mike McCarthy here will have the support, but he doesn't have a quarterback. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers wants to play with him. I don't know if he wants to move on. I mean, he's starting there anew. I think he gets to actually, what's that called? Start with his own, quarterback. So at the same time, you could probably draft somebody. You can do a lot of that, So we'll see. By the way, Toyota of Hollywood, as you see there, one of our proud sponsors. You can get the Camry LE sedan for $299 a month right now. The number one volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. They've got no payments for 90 days. They've got over 2,000 vehicles. They're open till midnight. Okay, that's flexibility. And by the way, they got 2,000 cars, over 1,200 new cars, and they've got them all pretty much under roof. So you get away from the rain, the heat, the humidity. You kind of shop in comfort. And when you want to go see, whatever it is that you love, a Camry, a Prius, a Corolla, a 4Runner, whatever you're going to see, you're going to want a large selection of it, right? And that's what you're going to get there. You're going to get a large selection of each vehicle, and that's what you're going to love. Even Supras, that a lot of dealerships don't carry a lot of Supras, not that they carry a ton, but they're going to have a few. And some dealerships don't even have one. So when you go to Toyota of Hollywood, you're going to have a large selection, so you can pick the car you want, the color you want, the style you want, the model you want, but more importantly, the price you want, and tell them that Big O sent you at Toyota of Hollywood. Don't forget, folks, University of Miami just finished off their season. You can get anything and everything that has a Canes logo on it at Caneswear. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. You can get Dolphins gear, Marlins gear, Panthers gear, Panthers championship gear, Inter Miami, Miami Heat. The Heat are in action tonight, by the way. So we'll see if the boys can pick up a victory along the way. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, and you can send in your questions, comments, or insults. And we always encourage Cash App or Venmo because we get 100% of the donation. We love the super chats, don't get me wrong, but we only get 70 there. 30% is taken by YouTube. Greedy bastards. Anyway, what else do we have going on? How about our 3A Graphics sports calendar? You can reach out to Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443 for custom printing and embroidery. Tonight, the Heat are at the Jazz at 9:30. The Panthers trying to make that playoff push. They're getting healthier. They're playing better defense. This is the time where I think we start turning the corner, start getting some of these guys back. Kachuk is back on the ice. We start getting some of these guys back. We'll start being a different team. 9:00 tonight in Minnesota. Canes and Syracuse are underway right now. I can probably give you a score in a second here. I know they're not playing a ranked team, so they're probably not going to be on the. I love when you're top 25 because you go on the main scoreboard. Canes are leading 62-55 with 11:28 left in the second half. Miami is now 4-2 in the ACC after losing a couple here. What else? Fort Lauderdale United, they are enjoying their time off to the January 31st. They will get their season back on track to take on Lexington SC at 7:30. You can get your tickets at FortLauderdaleUnited.com. We'll be broadcasting there on the 7th, the second game back to start. And at 4:00 in about 25 minutes, number 3 NSU will take on Palm Beach Atlantic University on the road. The Warriors and the Wolves postponed after the Minnesota shooting and killing of a protester this afternoon. So right now, a lot of ugly stuff is going on in Minnesota. Today, it is Saturday, January 24th. It is day number 19,000 exact since the Miami Dolphins won the Super Bowl. And it is day number 8,783 since the Miami Hurricanes were national champions. I was hoping to reset that clock. Damn, I was hoping to reset that clock. Indiana, man. You got to give Indiana a lot of credit. They played perfect football. And that's the reason why they were champions. Miami made the mistakes, and they paid the price. You got to play really intelligent football against Indiana, and Miami did not. By the way, for Weaver, remember, if he doesn't get any of the head coaching jobs, I believe the Giants haven't added a defensive coordinator, and there's some talk that he'll go with Harbaugh to be the defensive coordinator with the Giants. The Giants have a couple of nice defensive players, dude. Like, whoever becomes the defensive coordinator for the Giants has something to work with to start off. Kind of fun for the defensive coordinator, because I will say that the Giants, look, I haven't bought into Jackson Dart like everybody else has, but I do admit he does have the talent. You might be able to develop it out of him. I personally don't like the way he plays. I think he's going to be dead in the water because there's no way you can take on that contact and survive. So for me, I don't like Jackson, but you have a franchise quarterback. Okay. Malik Neighbors is definitely a franchise-like receiver. You've got some defensive players on that team. You've got a couple of pieces there to start off. It's not like Harbaugh walks in and there's absolutely nothing to work with, and especially if you're the defensive coordinator. So that won't be so bad, for Weaver. I am personally rooting for Weaver. Now, the sad part is, if he got in the Baltimore job, I feel good for him. If he gets the Pittsburgh job, I feel good for him. If you get the Arizona job, working for the Bidwells is, you have to take the job because you have to take the job. You know what I'm saying? But wow. And I get it. It's whatever. It's the first time that you're ever going to be a head coach. You have to take advantage of it if you can, So I totally understand it, man. I really do. I totally understand it. But for me, I would like to, if you're a young coach, you want to be able to end up at least in a place that you can, have a chance. It's hard to say you have a chance in that place in Arizona. It's just hard, because that's not good ownership, unfortunately. What do we got here on the chat board? Kosa is in. True Fan says, my theory is the Dolphins still have Weaver in as defensive coordinator because they believe he's going to get a head coaching job and they'll get the compensation out of it. Your thoughts? Well, I just talked about it. I think they're holding on to him because it would be stupid to let him go. And you don't have to, you're not forced to cut him until you hire your own defensive coordinator. So the second that Half announces his defensive coordinator, you're done. So maybe, and you know what, like I said earlier, he probably knows who he wants. He's just kind of holding out to see if, hey man, I'm the new coach here. If I can hold on to this guy, maybe get 2 third rounders, I'm in, NorCal is in the house. Think Blue Dodgers is smashing it. Parrales in. Thank you for helping us out there. Aquavision. Edwin Robles. Why did McDaniel cancel the interview with Buffalo? It's a wacky interview. I don't know. Maybe he thinks he doesn't have a shot at it, so he's just, forget it. Let me go here and I'll be fine. And then I think he's holding out hope for one more, right? There's one more place that he's still holding out hope for, but whatever it is, it just. I would love to see Buffalo hire him. That would be fantastic. I would be very happy. Yeah. The Great American is in the house. Jermaine. Well, no. Jermaine, he's not staying with the Dolphins. No. It's either or. It's he leaves as a defensive coordinator / head coach, or he gets cut the second they hire a defensive coordinator. There is no third option. I have not talked about that. He's never staying. That was never mentioned. It's all either he becomes the New York Giants defensive coordinator or he becomes a head coach. The question is, does he become a head coach before you hire your defensive coordinator? That's the question. If he doesn't, then you get no compensation. That's really what we're all talking about here, because there's so many people worried about that, and then they're kind of confused because a lot of people were calling me or DMing me and all this kind of stuff. Hey, man, Half said he's going to call the plays. So that means the defensive coordinator has already been neutered, which is true. But because they own him rights, they can control it. And you could be like Joe Philbin was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay, but he really wasn't because he wasn't calling the plays. Okay? So the only way you were going to lose him is if he got the elevation of head coach. Because somebody could offer you an offensive coordinator position in Green Bay because they know. Just like with the Niners. They don't have to let Kubiak go as an offensive coordinator. They'll keep him there. Even though Shanahan's calling plays, Kubiak is the offensive coordinator throughout the week. But you can offer him an offensive coordinator position, which is kind of it looks like a lateral, but the technicality behind it, there are no coaches unions. So they can't fight it. It's like a loophole. And they can screw coaches that way. So Weaver right now has been neutered because the head coach is going to be the defensive coordinator. So there should be a law and there should be a union that right now Weaver should be a free agent and be able to go and not be held up by the Dolphins in any way, shape, or form when you're not going to make him the defensive coordinator anymore. See what I'm saying? But there is no union. They can't fight it. So Miami controls Weaver's rights. And as fans, we like that because we're holding hope that he can get hired as a head coach. The Dolphins, by the way, Ian Rappaport, breaking news right now, are hiring Bobby Slowick, the senior passing game coordinator, as the new offensive coordinator. So Bobby Slowick, held over from the other staff, is now the OC of the Miami Dolphins. How about that? Breaking news happening right now. Former Texans OC helped C.J. Stroud to a stellar rookie season. Now he's back as play caller in Miami. By the way, the insiders nationally, all over the place, especially the ones from the league, they pumped up Mike McDaniel to kingdom come, dude. Okay? And, they've done that a little bit here also with the guys that came in. So remember, league reporters are getting information from the league. Okay. So, it's kind of what it is. But we have breaking news. Okay. All right. There we go. What else do we have? By the way, I don't even know how that again, this is all, I would need Sean for this, but I have no idea why. Do you guys see is that like a Twitter or something to my right corner? Do you guys see that also? Because I see it on mine. I'm wondering, I don't even know how I put that there. I don't even know if that's my Twitter feed or whatever it is, but it's kind of weird. But anyway, we got breaking news. Bobby Slowick now is the Dolphins offensive coordinator. Interesting. He ran the offense for Houston, as you saw Ian Rappaport talk about. So he does have experience overall. And a lot of us were wondering, okay, so then Adam Stenovich, who's the offensive coordinator in Green Bay, the same thing with Matt LaFleur. LaFleur calls the plays, but Stenovich is called the offensive coordinator, but he's really not. So they talked about him. Then we talked about Steve Shimko. And we're talking about Sean Marion. So all the guys that were kind of linked to Half, none of them got the job. It ended up going to somebody in-house in Bobby Slowick. I don't know if it's those guys didn't want to come and deal with the situation here for the next couple of years because they're in better situations right now. Slowick, well, he was fired in Houston. He was fired here or, dangling or whatever. So kind of interesting that you're not getting one of your own and you're going with somebody outside the fam there. Okay. But we'll see. Let me see. What else do we have here? Yeah, no, that's it. I think just overall, we'll see. I can't tell you anything about Bobby Slowick to say, oh my God, it's going to be awesome, or anything, because I don't know if anything's going to be awesome. All these people just have to prove it to us, and we just got to see what's going to go on. For me, I just wanted to explain to you guys the Weaver situation, how we're kind of playing a game of chicken right now, and we're hoping that they can get the 2 third-rounders, but we need a team to answer before the Dolphins have already hired their special teams coach. They hired their offensive coordinator, and who is going to be their defensive coordinator, because the second they announce a defensive coordinator, then that means, and by the way, once they announce it, they probably have a good feeling that Weaver's not going to get a job anywhere, because they have not announced it yet. And half, you would figure, as a defensive guy, kind of has to know who he's going to bring to kind of be right under his wing and be the guy that kind of oversees everything that we're doing right now. Craig says, just saw an ESPN app, Dolphins are hiring. Yes, sir. We just talked about Slowick getting hired. Let's see. Big O, I thought McD took an OC job with Chargers, but he's still interviewing. Yes. Yeah, because he still has, holding out hope that somebody would hire him as a head coach. But in the meantime, you take the best offensive coordinator job that you can get, and he took the Chargers one. So the Chargers know that if he gets a head coaching job, they'll lose him. I just don't think he's going to get the head coaching job. Phil says, I hope Weaver gets a job selfishly so the Dolphins can get 2 picks, but I also think he has earned the chance to run his own team. I agree with you 100%. I think he's earned an opportunity. I really would have liked to have seen him here after week 3. Okay, after everything that's gone on, just like the whole stupid shit about hanging on to the defensive lineman, damn it, what's his name? That went to Arizona for all that money. That was just stupid. That they hung on to him when they could have gotten a draft pick on the trade deadline. And I know he was a fantastic player and fantastic person at 470 years old, but you got to do what's right, man. You got to do what's right. So I'm with you. I hope he gets the chance. I hope he gets a chance. What else do we have here? It's gone now, but I'm a token of fatty. Maybe I never saw it. Yeah, no, I see it's gone. So Sean appeared at one moment and took it off because I heard a pop. So it was Sean working in the background because I sent him a text. I said, yo, man, there's some like text on the screen that I have no control over. I don't know anything. So he came in. He's the guy for this, dude. I'm an idiot when it comes to all this kind. Well, I'm an idiot overall, but especially for this kind of stuff. Anyway, didn't CJ Stroud have his best year under Slowick? Yes, he did. Yeah. What are my thoughts on the hire? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm not doing this time around. I'm not gonna come up with false hope or anything. I'm going to hold everybody's feet to the fire, and I need them to excite me. I'm not going to do this anymore where I get excited because somebody said the right thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I'm not even going to get excited because you sign a player or you draft a player. I want to see how you do with that player. Do you develop them? Do you support him? Because you drafted this player and you didn't support him. So I lived through this. We got lucky, cocaine rumors, and he had a shitty senior season that threw a bunch of interceptions. Okay? And he falls to Miami at 20, what was it, 3, 5, whatever the hell it was, and you effed it up. So I'm done. I'm done. It's 40 years of this shit. I'm done. I'm not getting excited about Ricky Williams and there's 4,000 people lined up around the fence. I'm not getting excited when Jimmy Johnson says we're going to be special. I'm not getting excited about anything anymore, dude. I'm done. I'm history. I'm in the archives. It's over for me. So you're not going to get any unicorns and rainbows here, bro, when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. Prove it to me, bro. Show me that you're competent. I already know you're incompetent, so show me you're competent. So nothing. Okay. And at least when you got excited, it was a name Parcells, and it was a name Saban, and it was a name Jimmy Johnson. And now you're just getting no name after no name after no name, and they've got to prove themselves. So I just can't blow smoke up your asses anymore for any of this shit. I'm not. It's irresponsible. It's irresponsible. There's no reason for us to get excited for any of this shit. They've got to excite us. They've got to do the things that get us excited about them. And that's the way I look at it now. So I look at every one of their hires, every one of their draft picks, every one of their free agent moves. Prove it to me. Outside of that, I don't want to hear shit from you. You know? Let's see. And Jermaine does point out that CJ had his best year under Slowick, but the next year he was fired. And I don't know. Could it be him? Could it be CJ? Because you watch CJ, and Slowick is far removed from CJ. So I don't know. I will give Slowick this. CJ never played like he played under Slowick. Can we at least say that? Can we at least agree on that? That CJ Stroud played his best football with him. And you watched him this year, 2 years removed from Slowick, and you watched him in key moments, and that was one yellow belly mofo. I mean, that was one choking ass dog. CJ Stroud looked like a little bitch out there. He looked like his tent was folded, gone, and off for sale. Okay? I mean, talk about a guy playing scared. CJ Stroud. Wow. That shit was gross. Okay? Gross. So I'll say that about Slowick. I don't know if he does anything here. Maybe he accomplishes absolutely nothing. I'm not going to BS any of you guys out there. But CJ played his best under him. And that's all. That's all. I saw him this year. So I never saw him that bad under Slowick. Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, he was the OC for CJ's best season. If we only had CJ Stroud in the QB room and not Tua, I'll take Tua over CJ any day of the week. If I could get Tua healthy back 2 years ago, I'll still take him over CJ. I'm happy. I like what I saw from Sully and Half. I'll get excited about what they do if they do it. That's right. That's it. Comfortably numb. That is exactly it, Kosa. We are Pink Floyd. I'm comfortably numb. That's what I am with the Dolphins. I love them. I'll watch everything. I'll follow everything. I'll do the shows. We'll talk about it. We'll give you the insight that we could get, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass anymore. I'm not going to get excited about anything. You need to get me excited. You know what I'm saying? Get me excited. I deserve that, right? Don't you deserve that? Don't you deserve to get excited? Because I deserve to get excited, but you need to excite me. That's all. It's up to you now. The responsibility lies on you, not anybody else. It's not my job to be some effing cheerleader for you, you know, and I get it. Some of you Dolphins out there, I don't know what it is. It's like a 20 or 30% of you. You never can hear any negativity. Every year they're going to win 40 games, even though there's only, 17 now. Every year they're going to the Super Bowl, even though it's an expansion year probably. Like this year, you'll have them winning like, we took a step back. We're only going to win 12 games today. That I see you people out there. Those people, they're helpless. It's like a cult. It's a thing nowadays. Well, it's kind of a cult. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of us that actually have a brain and we kind of can think for ourselves, let's just sit back and relax. Okay? Let these idiots actually show us that they know what they're doing, because they are idiots. Let's just call them what they are. The Miami Dolphin organization is a fucking joke. Every part of it, top to bottom. They're a joke. They shouldn't be trusted. Okay? You shouldn't really waste your money on them, to be quite honest. But do what you want overall. But it's got to be a point where they got to earn it, bro. You got to treat them like dog shit, and that's what they need to be treated like. They have been treated like royalty when they don't earn shit. And that's the problem with the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are a bunch of stuck-up assholes that also think that their shit doesn't stink. Okay? And their shit stinks to high heaven. Okay? That's how they need to be treated. That's how they need to be looked at. And that's how you need to kind of take that's the angle you take with that team. Look at them like the joke that they are until they're not one. Okay? Until proven otherwise, the Dolphins are a freaking joke. And this coaching search just showed you what a joke they are. They put 3 guys from San Francisco on that GM. They were going to hire Josh. They were going to keep McDaniel. And then they figured out in those meetings that those interviews, they didn't want McDaniel. They didn't have high praise. And all of a sudden, Harbaugh became available. So they went with plan B, and they figured out, oh, wait a minute. Harbaugh doesn't want us. I wonder why. I wonder if it's my reputation. And then they said, oh, now let's go with plan C. And then that's when they went with Sully, who, by the way, has an excellent resume. He deserves this job. Can he do it? I have no idea. But even the way they went about finding their GM was a joke, because they had no idea what they were doing. And from the get-go, they were trying to keep McDaniel. The fact that you're trying to keep McDaniel shows that you as an organization are a fucking joke. And you continue to be a joke. You got now a son-in-law that knows nothing about football, and all of a sudden, he's the guy that's going to be running the team. You're a joke. It is what it is, dude. So, until proven otherwise, that's who the Dolphins are. And I'm not blowing any smoke up anybody's ass, and I'm not giving you anything positive about the Dolphins until they earn it. Okay? Until they earn it. CJ Stroud looked more like BJ this year. Yeah. I think the Bear that was with BJ would be a better quarterback than CJ Stroud. Okay? I don't know if some of you watch BJ and the Bear, but, you know, the chimp had tons of talent. He probably was a better quarterback. Okay? We probably should sign him, actually, for the Dolphins this year. The chimp from BJ and the Bear. He would have been good. Definitely. Skills. Let's see. As a fan who's been watching since 2011, newbie, when we drafted Tannehill, it's been depression since. They have to get us excited, not the other way around. These are the worst fans right there. They're the best fans and the worst fans. These people have never seen anything. And why do they follow the Dolphins? I have no idea. At least I saw the Super Bowls. And I saw the Super Bowl wins and the Super Bowl trips. So I can still hang on. These young fans are the best fans. And then they're the worst fans because these people have just been beaten up, dude. All you've done to young fans for decades now is kill them. Absolutely torture them. That's all. This guy, what is this? Oh, God, you got so much in there. I don't know what the hell that is. But Akshart Car, whatever, 75755, that poor bastard there hasn't seen anything. He's been since 2011. He doesn't even know half decent Dolphin football. That poor bastard. I'm sorry, bro. I feel bad for you. I've said it for years. The young fans are the best because they have seen nothing, and I don't know why they follow the team. Us old fans, well, I get it. We saw the good times. I saw all the great and all the good times. All you people that are under 40, you haven't seen anything, dude. You haven't seen jack. Like, it's terrible. You're under 40. It's like hell being a Dolphin fan under 40. Alofo says, I agree with you. I will start getting excited until they start winning. It's funny that the local media is saying that they won the interview or a crazy comment like that, and Tua was the best QB since Marino. Yeah. I mean, no other QB was in the MVP race. No other QB is leading the league in yards and touchdowns and all that kind of stuff. So, it's just crazy. He is our best. Whether you like it or not, that's our best. Man of 1,005 holds says Stephen Ross is too slow. Keeping McD was a middle finger to all the fans. Oh, yeah, middle finger to all the fans. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And the new logo is another middle finger to all the fans, too. Let me see what else. Don't forget Cash App or Venmo. Add Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and we always appreciate the support. Day One says, good coach for Malik Willis. If not Ewers, good for future QBs. That's the word. That's the word that everybody uses out there, or the words Malik Willis, because it's Green Bay. And half, by the way, was very complimentary of him, of course. What else is he going to do? Walter says, at least I got the last few Marino seasons in Shula. Good for you. At least you got something there. If you got a little bit of the 90s, you got the last taste of the early 90s. You got the last. The Buffalo stuff hurt us because they were way better, but at least it was a decent team. Yeah. Mark is ready for every Ironman competition, not prepping for the next. He's already ready for every. That man is insane. He's in great shape. Most new fans I know blame their parents for it, and they, yeah. I got lucky. My daughter doesn't like football, so I didn't torture her. The only sport she likes is the Panthers. And it's not that she likes the sport. She just likes the Panthers. So she'll watch a Panther game. She'll go to a Panther game. But you give her tickets to a football or a basketball game or a baseball game, and she's like, nah, I don't really want to go. So at least I was a responsible parent, and I didn't get her hooked to the Dolphins. I mean, we got to think about it that way. Seriously, you parents out there, they're getting your kids hooked to the Dolphins. I should call child services on your ass. Seriously. I'd rather get whipped than root for the Dolphins. Yeah, no, definitely. No, I'd rather take an ass kicking from my mom or something than root for the Dolphins, because at least the ass kicking goes away after a few minutes. You know what I mean? The belts, the chancletas, the shoes, whatever, whatever you get hit with. Okay, fine. You cry for a moment and then it's over and that's it. But the Dolphin pain is forever. So yeah, I don't think it's good parenting to put your kids into the Dolphins. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. Let's see. I'm one of those bastards that I start watching during the late Tony Sperano era. Oh, God. Rest in peace, but, man, that was brutal. Metella says, I am noticing that more and more people are moving away from the current logo. The old logo is sweet. Oh, like I say, bail on the whale. And at Caneswear, by the way, online or in person, they've got a ton of old logo stuff. Okay? And by the way, that's a great way to send a message to Stephen Ross. Even though he's going to make profit on all of it, but if you don't buy the whale anymore and don't wear the whale anymore and just wear the old logo, I think that's like the quiet protest that the entire Dolphin Nation could do. Sport only old logo. Never sport the whale again. Okay, I get it. You spent money on that garbage, so you feel compelled to it or whatever. But if you ever really wanted to send a message, can you imagine if everybody that walked into that stadium had old logo on it only and chose not to buy the new logo, and it all would just sit there? Just think about that. If you ever really, you can't get rid of the owner. You can't rip onto him. You can't sit there with him and tell him how much he sucks, because you'll never get that chance. He doesn't address the media anymore. He runs hide and scared away from everything, and you can't do anything. You can send them a letter. You can complain to your sales staff and all that stuff. But just imagine if everyone only wore the old logo. We're not leaving the team. We're not going to stop watching. But if everyone wore the old logo and nobody would wear the new logo, that would send a message. That would be the message. Would people do it? Of course not, because, like I told you, we got that fraudulent 30% of fans that, they're like complete blind-ass fans that they don't want to hear anything, whatever. So it's kind of, they have to psych themselves out in order to follow the team, So it is what it is. But if you actually did that, that would be impressive. That would be ballsy. That would be a major news story. Okay? That everybody says, yeah, no, screw Stephen Ross and that logo. I'm wearing the old logo because that's when the Dolphins were respectable, not when Stephen Ross owns it. That would be awesome. So wear the old logo. I don't care which one it is, but don't wear the whale. Don't buy the whale. Don't support the whale. And use our code BIG010 when you go get your old logo stuff. A dry fit shirt, a hat, a flag, whatever it is. They've got it. They've got him there. They've got him there at Caneswear. So there you go. I'm 25. I'm glad I got to watch the Big Three Heat. Yeah. Good for you, man. Good for you. I'm so blessed that it's just ridiculous. I have seen all my teams win titles. All my local teams have won titles, and I've seen them all. I've been alive and watched for all of them. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, because watching Inter Miami this year, that completed the whole thing now. Now we join, what is it? Chicago, LA, New York, as like 4 cities, I think it is now, that have sports in all 5 major sports. Yeah. And if you add WNBA, I believe it's New York and LA then. That's it. I don't think Chicago's WNBA team has won. And obviously we lost ours, which was right there where my finger's at, the soul. Except I put a Bitcoin logo right over the basketball. Got to do what's right. Got to get that Bitcoin logo in there somehow. I figured that was a creative way of doing it. So true, Big O. I refuse any new logo merch. Good for you. The code works in-store. No, it works in-store, online, everywhere. In-store, online, Big O10. You will get 10% off. Okay? Yes. In-store, online, Big O10. Yes, sir. Doesn't matter. Remember, online, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. All right? So that is always good. And visit our friends at the Big Cheese. So we got Bobby Slowick as the offensive coordinator. We've got Chris Tabor now is the special teams coach. Now we only need the defensive coordinator, and we're waiting on Anthony Weaver and what's happening with that decision. Who knows? Kyle Smith was hired as the assistant general mangler. So we've got that now as the guy that's going to help Sully out. All right? So there you go. What else do we have? Big O, does Caneswear sell T-shirts that says "No Frankies allowed"? No, but we're going to create one for our show. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll create one for our show. No Frankies allowed. Don't forget, use the QR code, make that donation, Venmo, or of course you can also do it on PayPal. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Amazing that it's day number 19,000 today since the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. Man, we're so close to reset that Canes one. So close. So close. Damn. Anyway. What is it? The good news is if they aren't rushing the process, I'll give them a golf clap. Well, you know, right now, we've been stuck in a process of decades now at this point, which is crazy. I just hope these guys are the right guys. I hope that dumb luck led us here. There where your crazy idea of keeping McDaniel didn't work out. You had no shot at Harbaugh, and then you ended up with your third option, and you went in this direction, and it ends up becoming a blessing in disguise. I hope that's the case. I hope so. You know, I really do, because we need it badly. I mean, wow. This town, football-wise, the good thing is at least we got our Canes back on track. Those of you that are not Dolphin Canes fans, obviously if you're a Seminole or a Gator fan, you think differently. But those of us that are Canes and Dolphins fans, oh my God, what the Canes did in the playoff run was so needed because neither one had done anything for so long. So that was really a blessing to be able to do that, you know. Do I like the new offensive coordinator? Jesse, you can rewind. We just talked about the host Slowick thing if you just tuned in, my brother. Okay. There, we talked a little bit about it already. But it's not a lot to overall to get too crazy about. Anyway, just wanted to fill you guys in on the whole Weaver situation and touch base on that. We will catch you, I would imagine, on Monday. I don't think I'm going to do anything tomorrow. But then again, I didn't think I was going to do anything today. Have a fantastic Saturday. Have a great weekend and a safe weekend. Bless all of you out there. We'll see you on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.